In this lesson, we're going to talk about the importance of goal setting. So, by the end of this lesson, we will have discussed the importance of goal setting and this particular workshop. So, why goals? You're here. You're taking this course. So, my guess is you already get the importance of goal setting. My goal in this lesson is going to be to over-reinforce this to you, because I want to give you some examples of some changes that have been able to happen in my life and people that I know who have gone through this workshop in order to set some expectations on what this might be able to accomplish for you. So the bottom line is goals improve your life in the direction that you choose. All this will be about you. This will be one of the most selfish things you get to do, and I encourage you, be selfish. Jump in full bore and be as selfish as you can be through this process. It's just a workshop, so you've got full permission during this workshop. Be a selfish person. Think about you and what you want. That'll be the overriding theme throughout the workshop is, what do you want? What do you deem successful? So, quick stories. My introduction was by accident into goal setting. So in high school, when I was playing sports, my senior year, I wrote down some things I wanted to achieve and tracked them to see if I was achieving them. This was very late in high school for me, right at the very end of my high school life. And as I was tracking these things, it reinforced something that allowed me to see that I was thinking bigger about what I wanted to accomplish. It wasn't a matter of just showing up to an athletic event and competing. It was giving full thought about, what do I want to achieve in this athletic event? And it taught me at a very young age that goals can make a gigantic difference in your life. Because up till then, any athletics I had participated in from a young age on, I just showed up, did my thing, went home, maybe bragged about how good or not good I played or did, depending on the sport and what happened and the outcome. And this gave me some intentionality to that I was thinking about it, I was acting on it, I was setting goals on what I defined as success. Later on, it reinforced further when I was at a corporate basketball game and I was just running my mouth. And for those of you that know me, you know that's not uncommon. And I was at a basketball game where I said, I'm going to get 10 rebounds, just joking around. And I'm not a very tall person. I'm 6 feet tall. And in a corporate league, I was medium at best. And so when I went out and played, I got 10 rebounds because I was hyper-focused on that goal. I had made the decision that I was going to get 10 rebounds, and I've never been a big rebounding person in basketball anyway. So it started telling a story to me that if I gave something attention, I really thought about it ahead of time and really put focus and a plan in place, things were achievable. Then I was introduced to this workshop. Jeff Lovejoy brought this out to me in 2000. I half-hearted it, did it my very first attempt. I wrote everything down that we're going to do in this workshop. It's about writing it down. So I wrote everything down. And then I took that piece of paper and I put it in a drawer. And a year later, when it was time to do goal setting again, I pulled that piece of paper out and looked at it all crumpled and realized I had not looked at it all year long. But something very interesting caught my eye, that despite the fact that I had given no attention in the last year since I'd written it down, some things had occurred that just from writing them down had kind of put them in my subconscious. And so I realized, what if I did this little bit of improvement in these areas just by writing it down and not thinking about it again, what could happen if I put some real attention to it? And I thought back to the athletic days of doing those things and those results, thought, hey, this goal stuff might actually work for people. But this goal setting workshop takes it to a different level because it's going to take it to all parts of your life, not just an athletic or career focus. And so my benefits have occurred in goal setting in numbers of ways. First of all, my net worth, which is something that I was tracking from the beginning because money was not great when I started this. My family's net worth has increased by 45 times since we started doing goal setting. That's a tremendous increase in our family's net worth. More importantly, my relationships with people where I've put focused attention have improved tremendously. I've had some wonderful relationships that have grown and blossomed because I've put intentional focus around them. Now, outside of my own career successes that I'll deem successful because it's based on what I said was going to be successful for me, I will tell you that I've watched people go through this. I've had people that have quit the job the very next day because they realized that what they wanted career-wise was not in the room that they were in. And good for them to realize what they wanted. I've had people that realized they were not being successful in roles as siblings or as sons or daughters or as parents and had to make changes in their lives from this. And they've had positive improvements in that. The lady I knew that quit her job the very next day after taking this course, I've tracked her on LinkedIn, and after taking some time off to be with family, she's gotten back into a career that she's much more successful and much more happy in than she was when I knew her. So these are all things that can be a difference in your life. But again, it starts with you being selfish and saying, what do I want and what do I deem successful? And so I hope you'll open yourself to that journey. So I like to think that a lot of people, I always say people sometimes float through life. And things just happen to them, especially in certain roles in their life where they don't take the time to build goals around. And whether it's these things that are happening to you that are on this acronym or not, if you're not giving intentional focus to the roles in your life where you spend your time, then you are floating. And the things that will happen will be aimless, thoughtless, opportunistic. They'll be whatever they're going to be because you're not giving the intentional thought to making them better than they are. Doesn't mean they're bad, but they could be better as you define it. So when you give attention to something, it's going to improve, even if just a little bit. And the more attention you give it, guess what? You already know the answer, the better it's going to get. It's just going to happen. It happens with everything that you've ever done in your life. If you give more attention to any single thing in your life, it naturally improves to what you want it to do. So, quick side note. There's a good book out there. There's a bibliography I go through at the very end of this course. And it's called The First 20 Hours. And anytime you start something new, there are big gains at the beginning. When you're not used to doing something, let's say you start learning a new language or some new skill. In the first 20 hours, you get a lot of gains. A lot of gains happen. Because you're learning from a beginner into a point where you just kind of start hitting a plateau, if you will. You improve very quickly, and then you kind of plateau out. And people sometimes get lost in learning new skills and doing new things because they hit that plateau and they don't feel like they're continuing to get better. When in reality, most of your improvements in your life are going to be incremental. And you need to go in thinking that. You need to go in knowing that. Because when you're making incremental progress, if you're not tracking it, it seems like you're just standing still, like you're flatlining and not going up and getting better. And if you will give attention to tracking your goals and seeing how you're doing, you will realize that even though you're not flying through goals and getting something accomplished tomorrow, I want to lose 20 pounds and here's my plan to do it. Well, you lose 5 or 6 pounds really quickly and then you plateau and you're like, I'm not losing any weight. When in reality, if you're tracking things very carefully on your exercise, your calories, the things you're doing healthily to lose that weight, you're losing it incrementally, and it does take the full year to lose the weight that you planned. So don't give up. Know that things are happening incrementally, especially if you're giving them attention. And if you are getting stuck, truly, by tracking it, you see you're absolutely flatlining and getting stuck, that's when you can revisit what is my plan and what part of it's not working, and you can ask for help, which we'll also talk about in this course. So in conclusion, we know goals are important. You're on this course right now because you know it. We need to avoid floating through life, and we need to begin making intentional efforts to get better in the roles in our life. So let's get started with defining the roles that we have.